Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic and this is another reaction to My Hero Academia. And you know what to do, as always. If you want to see the reaction itself, just go down into my descriptions, follow the links, replace the circumflex dot parts with real dots and enjoy the reaction. Once you've done, feel free to come back here and hear me out about this episode. So, see you soon. For those that came back, welcome back. Now, that was... well, not so much of a surprise, really. It started off more neither the way I thought. I really would like to discuss about this one here first, but let's go step by step. I already guessed the last time, and I guess you've seen my discussion, that at least the two of Todoroki and Yurasa will not make it through due to the fight they had with each other. They did not show the points. I really would have liked to know their score and how much was deducted due to that. So, removed from their points, I mean. So, one could estimate how much it is, but they didn't. Happens. Bakugo didn't pass either, although he did rescue quite some people, I guess. But I see why. It is... not only that you're rescuing, it is how you rescue people. So his tone of voice is possibly not the nicest one. As someone tried to tell him, but he was not willing to listen. So three, I would call them main characters. Very, very powerful students. Possibly the, well, three of the top five. If not the top three. One might discuss about this if Midorya is in the top three. I think right now, well, I think Todoroki is still on top together with Yurasa, but the question is who's on number three, Deku or Kachan? I'm not sure about that. I would not put Deku on top on number one yet. Yes, he's incredibly good, and he's really good at using his quirk for multiple stuff, but just by quirk and what you can do with it, it is way above Todoroki still, and he's clever and intelligent and is able to lead a team and everything, so... And we are talking about small amounts here, but that's my personal opinion. In the future, the way that they are growing, it is, in my opinion, no question that Deku will take over. Because his power is still increasing, while Todoroki started very high on top, and now his the power increases only slightly. His control over it increases, his abilities, what he can do with it increases, but the power itself doesn't. I think this is where Deku has his huge benefit against everyone else. However, the three did not pass. There was not much of a surprise for me. I was a bit surprised how many of the UA passed. Well, I'm not sure if someone else didn't. I think everyone from the class passed, but you may correct me if I missed someone. I am still not very happy with Mineta. Not mainly about his passing. I guess he did rescue people and did help out, so that's okay. But I really, and I mentioned it in the past, I really don't like that they're using him only as a negative character. Once again, there was one time when he had an option to shine, when he helped Seta? Was it Seta? The tape guy? Against Midnight. That was a moment where he did show that there is more in him if he wants to. So I'm always disappointed when I'm not mainly about him. The writers use him as the typical very self-centered character who has only one thing on his mind, or maybe two. And it was this time again that he was like, you lost, now we will get power, stuff like that, which is like not very grown up, not very adult. So that's something I didn't like. But well, that's what he's used for. But what I asked myself, those that passed now have a provisional license, so they are allowed to work as heroes. And as we learned, those who didn't pass are still allowed to work as heroes for 3 months if I'm right. And they can retake the tests, which is always a good thing. But what does it mean, having a provisional license? Does it mean you can go out alone? Or does it mean you're allowed to work in an agency, shadowing a pro hero, working with and for a pro hero, as they did in the past? When they did this, they were not allowed to use their quirk very much. They really had to ask the pro hero if they are allowed to. That's the interesting question for me. Are they in an agency and are allowed to use their quirks normally? Or will they be allowed to go by themselves or as a team of students, as example? That would be nice as well. Although I'm always in for agencies, because those were great episodes in the last season. After all of this was over, I like the fact that Yuasa apologized. So he was aware that he ripped the chances of Todoroki as well as his own. But he had the greatness and the empathy to realize it and to stand in for his mistakes in front of everyone. He didn't wait for a moment alone. Todoroki I wouldn't say apologized, but he accepted and stated, you could say it was my fault because I started, so a show of respect as well. They still don't get along very well, but it is a start, and I kind of hope there will be a more positive future. We got the clear statement, the clear idea that what was her name? Tammy is Toga. So I called it. I mean, there were quite a bit of science to it, so I'm very relaxed it has happened like that. It makes it easier if you have one crazy girl in the show and not two of them or even more. And yes, you could discuss about other girls being crazy as well. So she got some blood, which is a problem, because she can take over she can act as though she's the character. I think I discussed it like 2 or 3 episodes ago when it happened. It makes her incredibly dangerous because we will never be completely sure if the person you see is really the person or if it is Toga. As example, just in this episode when Kachan in the end asked Midorya to follow him because he wants to talk about his quirk. There was a moment when they were walking alone and Midorya said, "Well, we are going pretty far, are you sure?" And I thought, what if it is Toga? What if it is a trap to catch Midorya? That would have worked. The villains could have been there waiting for him. I mean, it's still in the UA, so very unlikely. But something like that. Any one of the students or teachers being drawn out of the UA, led somewhere in the city like, I want to talk to you or want to have a party with you, whatever the reasons. And instead it's Toga and a trap of the League of Villain. By doing so, they could easily catch everyone alone on the wrong foot. So it's really dangerous. And once they would be stupid if they wouldn't do something like that in the future. We will see. We had the discussion with All Might and All for One. That was interesting. I think it was a mistake from All Might to go there. I see his reasons. I see he wanted to make a statement, but in my opinion, he gave All for One more than he got from him. All for One, you have to give it to him, is incredibly good with words, and he knows All Might so well that he was once again able to sink a nail into his heart, as he did in the past, which is why I think it was a mistake to go there. He, by seeing him, could kind of get approval for his theories, because the fact that All Might was upset about what All for One said about the society changing is more neither an approval that this is what is happening. So he knows his plans are working right now. That's one thing. But mainly, in my opinion, was a mistake because All Might is disappointed about what happened and is even further injured emotionally and spurred on to do something about the situation, which they say a hasty strike often goes miss or something like that. I'm pretty sure you know this wording. If All for One would be able to spur All Might to act too fast without thinking because he's emotionally injured about a specific boy, the grandson of his mentor, that might be a disaster. Because it is one thing if All Might is not able to perform as a hero anymore, change his form. But if he would be, as example, captured or even killed, that would be a strike to the society. He still is a symbol of peace. Yes, he is not the muscular form anymore, and he's keeping away from the lights of the public, I think. But if he would die, that would shake the society even more than it already is. So I'm kind of surprised he's not getting some kind of guards with him, as sad as that might be. But he is a major pillar of the society still. All for One said that the villains possibly will fight each other by now, so there are multiple villain societies struggling who is the one to take over the power now. Thus, All Might is gone. That's interesting. So he thinks there will not be like one society operating, uniting everything. But instead they will struggle internally and then one will try to take over. I hope that this is kind of like of a little bit of a spoiler here. That he gives us a glimpse of what will happen in the next episodes. Because I would like to see this more of the evil societies. We've seen that there are two sides in the team of Tomura already. The ones that follow Tomura and the ones that do follow the ideas of Stain. So especially when it is about Midorya, that is an important thing. Because those following Stain's way try to defend Midorya because he was accepted and praised by Stain, while the ones following Tomura will try to kill him. We've seen it in the past. So I hope we will see more of the villains and what they're doing, and not talking only about Tomura here. Well, let's go to this scene here. So Kachan finally connected all the dots. I'm pretty sure he did that already a bit ago. As at least at the moment when he saw All Might pointing to the screen saying you are next is your turn. And he saw the reaction of Midorya. I'm pretty sure that was the moment when the last coin dropped and he understood what was going on. And after that he confronted All Might about it. So he did not act yet. But the fact that he lost in the provisional license spurs him on now to do something. So he feels hurt, he feels kind of betrayed, I guess, because All Might is his idol as well. And seeing that All Might picked someone else as his predecessor hurts him. I can understand that. And thus this predecessor, Deku, now even was able to do something he couldn't. So he surpassed him by now. More neither the first time in real. Everything before you could say, well, they're kind of still even. But now Deku has something he hasn't. He made something, he passed in an exam that Kachan couldn't. So he now possibly has to make himself feel good again, to strengthen his ego, and this is why he's asking for the fight, I guess. However, the question is, what is going to happen in the next episode? Because I think we are on a railroad, on a split of a railroad for Kachan. I think he is a really clever boy, a really intelligent young man. And in my opinion, when he's not burning with hatred and his passion, he's able to understand everything. So he would be able to understand the concept, the idea that he failed the exam not because of having not enough powers, the quirk, but because of his mental state is too much, but of his way of acting, because he is too aggressive sometimes. And then he would understand that Deku passed because Deku is not like that. Sure, he did pass because he has a quirk as well. It's both needed. Question is he sinking so far, or is he at the moment just enraged? If he's enraged, this will be a problem here. He still was not completely able to transfer the thought that this little maggot from the past, that was Deku, has changed in some ways, and in some ways has stayed true to himself. He changed power-wise, but his inner beliefs, the way the person that Deku always was, stayed the same. He was a hero in his heart, and that's the thing. He acted like one. He tried and fight and scratched and clawed for every millimeter, and that's what made him a hero. The sheer will to be, and the fact that he is already a hero, just he didn't have the powers at this time. That's the thing. If Kachan could see that, then we would have the option for, well, not say friendship, but at least some kind of camaraderie in the future, or at least neutral territory. And then he would understand that Deku was chosen because of how he is, who he is. But that would mean that he would have to accept, at least partially, that he is sometimes not so much a hero as Deku is. Sometimes he is. And I think that is where the railroad is splitting. Are you able to reflect yourself enough here, Kachan? If you are, that's a major thing. If you are able to accept Deku as a hero, to accept him as someone worthy to be your comrade and a student in your class, as he already is. That would be great, because it would make Kachan grow even more, and he has grown in the last seasons. The other option, and that's why I say it's a split here, might be the complete opposite. No, doesn't matter if Kachan wins or loses. If he wins, he could go crazy because he's like, I am better than you, you know. But if he loses, and I somehow guess that's where we are going in this fight, if a fight is happening, that may push him over an edge where he's already dancing on all the time. It's always a question, will Kachan turn evil or not? The option is always there. He can be one of the best heroes, he can be one of the best villains as well. So I really look forward to the next episode, see if there will be a fight. There's still the option one of the teachers is there. I mean, like Eraserhead. But it wouldn't solve the problem. This fight has to happen somewhere. And I think this is the fight that Deku talked about in the past. I will beat you again once I mastered those powers I inherited and made them my own. That's the thing. I think Deku is as far that you can say he made these powers his own. Which means it's no longer All Might's power, it's Deku's power, it's Midoriya's power. So I guess this is the fight we are waiting for. I don't know if it will be with huge explosions and everything a very long fight. It might be more need a short one as well. But that's not what it is about. I think it is mainly about those two here finally getting a solution to who they are and how they stand to each other. So, as I said, next episode will be interesting for sure. That's it this time, and I hope you liked that. I did. It was a nice episode, and makes me wait for the next one. And until then, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, post your opinions. Please don't spoil, because that's something that always destroys everything. And until the next time, my name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye and out.